Welcome everyone, I am the Depressed Dealer and this is Langrisser Mobile. Alright, it's a new banner. There's two new characters, both of them are female, so I'll be trying to get both of them. There's also a number of other updates. As you can see, there's an SP icon here. So there are some new troops. Let's see. Fortunately, I already purchased some of these, so I don't remember exactly where some of them are at. Yeah, so we got Touch of the Netherworld. This one is 30% 30% to all stats. Attacks are treated as magic. They are range 2 aquatic movements, and they get attack and magic defense increase. And then, when in water, they're not affected by melee damage reduction, and enemies within 2 blocks will have their attack and magic defense reduced. And only a handful of characters can use it because there's only a handful of aquatics. Don't really have an opinion on it because I don't really mess around with aquatic troops that often. And then, trying to remember where the other one was at. I think it was an infantry. Or maybe it's not. Maybe I'm crazy. And that is also a possibility. Don't even recall that icon. Apparently it's a thing. Alright. So yeah, Touch the Netherworld, we got those. Not an assassin, is it? Oh yeah, it is. Lone Wing Arrow. A lot of people can use this, including the new character. All stats increased by 30%. Soldier attack 30%. When battling units with mobility higher than 3, so pretty much cavalry and flyers in most cases, attack increases by an additional 20%, and then after initiating battle, units can move an additional 2 blocks. Honestly, this is really nice. There's a lot of high mobility, especially in Apex, and so being able to, I mean, granted, it's not always just flat movement. Sometimes it's the move again, act again type stuff, but honestly, this is a pretty good combo. I'm curious on how it interacts with Silvaria with her sniping. So maybe I'll take a look at that. I've been gradually switching back to tank recently, as of the last few weeks of Apex. So maybe bringing in some of the assassin play, long range assassin play, might be in the works in the future. Who knows? And then we should have. I guess that's it. Yeah, I think those are the two new soldiers. I could have sworn there was a third one, but I cannot remember. Well, in any case, there are SP classes. I believe there are 3. Yeah, there should be 3 of them. Yeah, sorry. One of them's here. I don't know why I removed the icon. But yeah, any of these that have a little SP icon, you can do things to essentially unlock them, but the things you have to do to get them unlocked, unfortunately, requires these fantasy workout boosters, which are in the Aniki's gym. So there's now a reason to actually go to Aniki's gym now. From what it looks like, there's obviously, just like in all the the original SP class upgrades, you have multiple steps to it. It looks like you need about 100 of these workout boosters to fully complete one class. The other requirements are pretty standard. It's yeah, raised any 2 heroes from the Holy Knight class and so forth and other nonsense, and then get, you know, level 10 heart bonds with the following expand heroes and all that good stuff. So yeah, there's Niki's gym has been updated. There's now a level 75 version, which has access to the workout boosters. Just like kind of the other rare materials, this is not a guaranteed drop, unfortunately. Usually you're guaranteed to get some, at least as far as your daily rewards, but beyond that, not so much. Luckily, I have 24 of these. Man, I should have been popping these while I was unlocking them. Also, all the Anikis are currently available, which is fantastic. So I did go through and do them all. Honestly, it was kind of fun to do them. Anikis can be kind of annoying because they have their stupid Macho Blast that's global and bypasses all defenses. But that doesn't really matter when you can... Nowadays, the meta, you can cover the entire map and immediately either silence or freeze the Aniki, which is really fun. I've been, as I've probably mentioned in previous videos, I've been doing a lot more PvE content. Some of the challenge content I skipped over. It's been a lot of fun trying to just do them now that I have like Covenants and, you know, all these characters that I don't get to play too often in Apex simply because they either get banned or they're not in the meta. So it's been it was actually a lot of fun to do all of these. All right. There is a new exclusive weapon. I believe it's for Zion. Yeah, it's for Zion, so I don't care. And I think there's a new inscription talent, but I don't remember who it's for. I can find out real quick. Okay, it's actually Tiaris, which was the next person I was going to talk about anyway, because her SP class should be coming out next week. Alright, so all of it is just her applied buffs last +1 turn and +5 intelligence, 5% intelligence. Honestly, it's simple, but it's honestly having increased duration on her buffs is actually really useful. Go ahead and unlock that because I will be going for SP Tiaris in the future because she is going to be very useful. Alright, so with all that said and done, oh, I guess one other thing to point out is they've been doing updates on the VIP stuff. So usually the privileges, these things. I had recently stopped doing them because they were honestly not kind of redundant after playing for so long, but they've actually kind of added some more additional rewards to them to make them a little bit better. So I did go ahead and pop those with my spare, what's it called, those play points that you get from the Play Store. So that's why I have the VIPs active, but I want to go ahead and point that out. Obviously, you don't have to use them. One of them does increase your max stamina to 200, which can be useful if you're always concerned about overflowing on your stamina and so forth. And that's pretty much about it. Anyway, more importantly, summons. Our luck in the past has not been the best. Oh yeah, I've heard that the translation for hibiscus is broken winged bird, which is kind of dumb. But I did notice that you can actually rename your characters, it looks like, so maybe we'll just deal with that. Alright, so we have Fallen Ode of Broken Wings, which has Randall and Hibiscus, which is how I'm going to call her from now on, because that is who she is, and not this. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to get one of each. Both of them have their uses. Randall, I suppose, supposedly is really good as a magic kind of tank character, as well as kind of has a lot of neat little mechanics on top of that. But yeah, we'll dive in. Boop. Hitting the button. We should have nothing towards pity. But yeah, unfortunately the details, I haven't really been keeping too much track of these. The should you summon video I haven't seen yet. And I honestly don't remember any of the details of the other videos I watched. $30 summons, not bad. I believe you do need both characters for bonds, so all the more reason to get both. Off banner? It's going to be off banner? God, the voices are really soft on my end. I don't know how it sounds to you guys. Alright, Randall. Randall's probably the one I want more, simply because I've gone more magic-based. as far as my build's been concerned. I have been getting, I think it was, is it Odin? No, I don't think it's Odin, but the Covenant that's more specialized in physical attack, I've been trying to get that one up to speed, but I only have so many orbs. In any case, Rendale, Avenger of the Deep Sea, the leader of the Inner Traceability School, who vows to overturn the 3 towers on the sea. So this is the mobile storyline, mobile specific storyline character. All right, got one of the 2. Let's get the other. If we get duplicates, all the better. But I would also like to save vouchers for the future. I think, yeah, I kind of lost all track of like what the next banners are going to be. I know there's a Dead or Alive thing coming out, and that's going to have 3 new characters for me to mess around with. 20 summons. Hibiscus. Alright. Getting both within 50 summons. I haven't had that in a while, it feels like. Alright. You also may notice I have a bunch of vouchers. I've been going through and doing all the Gate of Fates. For those who have been watching the previous videos, I've been doing all the Gate of Fates, which essentially gets you a lot of crystals and a couple of vouchers. I mean, it's not a lot. You get maybe like, what was it, 1 to 3 vouchers and then about, I guess, 300 crystals, which adds up. I've been just kind of knocking them out little by little. And there's a lot of male characters I haven't built, so going through all those literally just gets me a pile of vouchers to play around with. Anyway, Hibiscus, wingless wind dancer, the broken winged bird trapped in a cage will eventually embrace freedom. You don't say. Alright, that was quick. So I will be back and I'll try to get these guys up to speed. Alright, that took me a little while. I did pop all of my spare Aniki vouchers, but it wasn't even enough to complete 1 full SP troop class, unfortunately. And since there's 3 of them, I need like 300 of them, and I have only around 80. So I won't be able to show off any of those anytime soon. In any case, went ahead and got Hibiscus and all that set up. So this little note thing just gives notes. So I just put Hibiscus here just as a reminder. In any case, let's go ahead and we'll start with her. We'll start going over her stuff. So both these characters are at 3 stars. She's Dark, Meteor, and Mythical for our factions. She can be either an Archer or Assassin. I went with Archer simply because it can potentially give you bonuses against flyers. Her Soul Sight ability gives her attack and crit, and then after taking action, she applies Gaze to the nearest 1 enemy in a straight line. What Gaze does is the person that is gazed, after they use any skill, they get skill damage reduced by 15%, and they get penetrate, which makes it so they can't be guarded. Specifically, can't be guarded against Hibiscus. That is. And the gaze is removed at the start of the 2nd turn after being applied or when triggered. The way it's worded, I think it's this is a way to possibly get around things like, because usually a lot of like effects that last only like 1 or 2 turns, you can get around them by just doing an act again in place type situation, like doing aim or something like that. So this might be a way to get around it, but I'm not entirely certain. As for her kit, she does get access to Calamity, which is a guard bypassing effect. That being said, she probably doesn't need to rely on it too much since she does have Gaze. She does also have access to Backsap, which is always good. Her uniques, she has Storm Feather Blade, 2-cost skill, cooldown 2, range 2, cooldown 2, hits for 1.5 times physical damage. And before battle applies chance of being critical hit increased by 25% and increases the amount of critical damage taken by 25%. Pretty fancy. It's only 2 range though. Eye of the Wind Spirit. Passive at the start of the turn grants 2 random adjacent allies the effect after taking action applies penetrate on enemy within 2 blocks with gaze for 2 turns. And this gaze effect, of course, ignores immunity and cannot be dispelled. Is that the same thing for her? It doesn't say that here, so I don't know if that's the thing or not. Also, does it even have a cooldown? Doesn't have a cooldown, at least from what it says. Anyway, so you can kind of get some additional stacks of this from your allies. One thing to note is it only hits adjacent people, so they have to be right next to her to get the benefit. Besides that, it activates. It has a 2-turn cooldown and 7 range. It hits an line AoE for 0.2 times AoE damage and applies gaze that way. You can move three blocks afterwards, and if you happen to be in defensive terrain or in water, it actually becomes 9 range, which is pretty long. So this is just like kind of a way to peck away at people, which is kind of useful. Soldiers, she of course gets access to the new archer class, and yeah. As for her gear, I went with Swift's Silver Blades. Which just gives additional crit and crit damage based off how far away you are from the target, which is usually going to be about 10%. Also, it also provides the attack increase there. Besides that, it's just standard stuff that I saw from some guides. I went and grabbed Last Rites, Shadow of the Night Owl, and Twilight Star, and I went with. There were suggestions of either Breeze or the 2 yellow enchants that you can play around with. Or actually, I guess there's more than 2, but 2, I think it's like Meteor and something else. But I ended up going with Breeze simply because my Twilight Star that I had laying around had Breeze already on it, so I just went with off of that. Nothing to point out as far as the castings are concerned. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So we'll awaken. The infinite cycle of the soul cage cannot extinguish a heart yearning for freedom. All right. Not much to say here. Pretty standard assassin type thing. I don't know if I'll play around with her. She can be kind of interesting to bring with is that Talia and Karika and stuff, and try to bring as many like Archer 8 line AoEs and just try to make like a firing line out of it. But don't know if that's actually going to be viable. In any case, my attack power is crazy. And I did nearly half her life in fixed damage, so this should be a non-issue. Okay, gaze applied. Oh, you can actually reach me. That's annoying. Yep, let's back off. Easy way to fix that is just to not do that. We'll just go this far. I believe I still get caught by this, but I'll still get hit by the wave caller, but that's fine. He pushed me away, I don't know why, but okay. Okay, I can't get away from you, so we'll just attack you. I still get to move 2 spaces? Why? Alright. Can't even reach. Seriously? You had one job. Move forward. Thank you. Can I get killed without dying? Let's find out. Yep. Alright, let's go ahead and dive into this. A bird with broken wings no longer belongs to the sky, but a free soul will eventually return to the mountains. You don't say. Alright. Alright. What skills are you taking? Don't think any of these guys actually have guard, so I don't think it matters. Yeah, I'll stick with what I have. Alright. Okay, so we have to deal with that. Alright, let's go with this. Yeah, we'll talk more about Randall next, but for right now. Alright. So I think in hindsight, let's change that. Instead, we'll focus on this. And this is never going to reach. So we'll just do that. There we go. That's what I wanted. Oh yeah, I forgot that wasn't actually... I forgot she had a line AoE. That's fine. Alright, just to point out a few things about the things I threw out with Randall. It reduced mobility, and I think it reduced skill. I think it reduced damage dealt. Oh no, it just reduces mobility by 2, and then it increases the skill cooldown of the lowest skill. Okie dokie, cool. In that case, let's go ahead and murder. I can't move. And you can't get anywhere. You can't get anywhere either, jeez. Yay for mobility down. Out of all the random effects. Okay. Oh good, that did enough. Good. Oh my god, I still can't move. I don't know what scroll in the box does. I literally can't do anything. Alright, cool. I might not live through this. You are technically weaker. Yeah, confirm. Alright. Alright, so let's try this again. So I can get to there. Okie dokie. Yeah, getting hit with mobility down and having no way of getting rid of it definitely sucked. Wasn't from this thing, it was just random. Alright. See if that does better. I mean, silence is certainly an improvement. Okay, I can actually move. That's better than anything I've done so far. Still can't get anywhere with you, but that's fine. Oh my god. Melee range, really? Well, I can still can't do anything. Got it. Killed you. Good. We don't have to worry about you. Alright, we're fine. Sorry for taking so long with this. There you go. Much better. Alright. What do we got here? Soul Hunt Execution. Sorry about that. Clicked off screen, so I went ahead and put a break here just in case. Alright, let's go over her new skill. Alright. Passive for each penetrate on enemy, mobility +2 and range +1. So that is going to make up for a lot of things. So that is, with a combination of this, you can potentially have a 11 range line AoE with this. but the actual effect is attack a single enemy in a straight line, dealing 1.6 times damage. When eliminating an enemy, the skill cooldown is reduced by 2. Has 3-turn cooldown. When ranged soldiers can also attack. After attacking, can move again using remaining mobility. If the enemy is afflicted with gaze or penetrate, the attack increases by 30% for this battle. If the enemy is inflicted with penetrate, the enemy becomes unable to trigger effects that resist fatal damage for this battle. So this is an actual assassin that can actually bypass self-resing, which is pretty fantastic. It's only useful in PvP though, but that's completely fine. Yeah, really cool. Wouldn't mind trying her out. The only issue right now is my Covenant is specialized in magic, but I can always pick and choose, I suppose. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at Randall, however you call her. Where is she? Oh, she's a mage, so she's probably up here. Yep. Alright, Dark, Strategic, and Yillis factions. She can be either mage or demon. Obviously, demon has the usual issues against holy. As for her trait, which is Book of the Box, she gets increased damage and unit range. So right now it's 15% and +1. I think it goes up to +2 eventually. At the start of the battle, she gets 1 stack of Chaos Excerpt. After any unit takes action, if they have moved 3 or more blocks, this unit gains 1 stack of Chaos Excerpt, up to a maximum of 5 stacks. After taking action, they can choose to consume a stack to apply Box Dream Descent, which is the one where it can, if they've moved 3 or more blocks during this turn, their mobility is reduced by 2 for the next turn, and the cooldown of the skill with the shortest cooldown goes up by 1. So this is really good, since a lot of the tricks to rush is essentially to go really, really far, act again, and go from there. So if you manage to throw it, so this in combination with like the Awakened one, you can essentially hopefully shut down quite a bit with this. Also, her unique skills. One thing I'll point out, this is not unique, but well, I guess it used to be unique. I think Bozel was the only one that had access to this. But I'm pretty sure there's not any female characters that have access to sleep, so Randall will be the first. But yeah, sleep's a really good skill. It's not as good as it used to be, simply because crystal barriers exist. But she does get access to that. She does, of course, get access to the good Black Hole, Dragon Breath, even Dark Reaper. But she has a few uniques as well. Dark Realm Walker. Activating it gains 2 stacks of Chaos Excerpt, then teleports 1 ally unit to within 2 blocks of the caster and takes all damage for this unit within 3 blocks, ignoring melee damage reduction when attacked. Last 2 turns. Also reduces damage taken from the next attack by 80%. So with this, you can essentially guard somebody and probably most likely will survive the attack, because this effect can't be dispelled. The teleport 1 ally unit to within 2 blocks of the caster, it only has 2 range, so I don't know if there's something about it that I'm missing. But in any case, it's kind of interesting if you want to like be able to guard and protect people. Dark Realm of the Box adds 25% magic defense to intelligence, so we get to actually make use of magic defense. When casting Box Dream Descent by talent effect, can additionally choose to consume 1 stack of the to restore HP and reduce damage taken by 15% for 2 turns. You can also consume a stack to switch this to Scroll of the Box, which we kind of briefly saw. I don't know what the actual effects of Scroll of the Box can do besides the differences for the Chaos Excerpt. Over here we have... Oh, actually... Oh, okay, I see. You can actually choose which one you start with. I see. Can you actually have both active at the same time? That's weird. That's so weird. Alright, Scroll the Box. Takes magic damage for adjacent allies. When casting Box Dream Descent by talent effect, can additionally choose to consume 1 stack of Chaos Excerpt to increase guard range by 2 blocks, which I think we saw earlier. And then you can just switch it back to Dark Realm of the Box. Okay, I understand now. Got it. But yeah, she can guard. That's really the big thing. When attacked and forced into battle, this unit attacks before the enemy and can counterattack ranged attacks. So People say this is kind of a good counter against things like Ilya, since Ilya, of course, can blast from infinite range almost. So with this, you can essentially counterattack first. And then on top of that, you can always stack things such as Crystal Warlocks and the Dropnir here, among other things. I didn't really go... Oh, actually, I did go over the gear. But for gear for Randall, I don't know too much about her, so I kind of just went off the online guides. Galaxy Cloak was actually suggested, which is pretty rare. Galaxy Cloak is generally not seen as a rather... It's usually just like a placeholder SSR armor until you get something better. But the 10% magic defense actually does matter for her, so it's actually pretty useful. The Vile Weaver is actually kind of nice. It doesn't have any stat increases besides HP, but it has a 100% chance to inflict a random debuff whenever you use a skill. And that includes her Chaos Excerpts. So that's why I was just blasting away with them. This could be a real quick way to kind of get through, you know, crystal barriers and things like that. The electric headwear is mainly just to kind of take advantage of that counterattack she gets. As long as she's nearby somebody, she can not only make immune to displacement, but also get a little extra counterattack damage. And then this is just for the reflection. Anyway, to do soldiers, not much to say. Does get access to Crystal Warlocks, does have Poison Bat Mages, so you kind of got the standard stuff here. Actually, one thing I want to check, is it only when I attack? Yeah, just when doing battle. Okay, let's go ahead and awaken. Vengeful flames burn fiercely in the deep sea, vowing to overturn the 3 towers above. Alright, for this we don't actually need Crystal Warlocks. We'll switch to Poison Bats for now. And for this, I'm going to go ahead and just go that for now. Alright. Holy cow, look at that intelligence stat. Pretty sure a normal attack would have been enough. Alright, actually, we'll just do it on one of you. Yep, so not only do I do the usual effect, I also do a random debuff thanks to the staff. Okay, thankfully I didn't go for the increased range one. And now I get to kill you. 31-29. Yeah, this is, out of the two of them, Randall definitely has a better fit just simply because of the magic damage. But being able to just slow down rush boxes is definitely something I prefer. It's definitely a thing I've been struggling with a lot of my previous Apex runs. Alright, let's go ahead and dive into this. Chaos has eroded her soul, and now the Avenger has finally fallen into darkness. The only thing that remains unchanged is her desire for redemption. You don't say. Alright, we're going to focus on AoEs. What are you focusing on? Also AoEs. Okay. We do have Namiya and the Noran for this one. Unfortunately, she's not going to get very much range. I don't suppose you have something that can help. Yes. Okay, we have something we can play with here. Okay, that can hit everybody. So, the Safrine is definitely kind of the one I'm more scared of than anything else. Oh, right. Okay, I think I understand how it works. There we go. It's been a while since I've messed with this. Alright. Now, can I actually kill you? Because that would help a lot. Almost. Okay. So my AoE should be enough to kill her. If it doesn't, I'll roll it back, I guess. Fortunately, we're gonna get hit with AoEs from this, but that's fine. Yep, got them both. Okay. And then I can do this for some additional... Okay. Okay. And here it comes. Alright, what status effects? No silence, that's fine. Okay. Let's have you go last. Actually, no, we're fine with this. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, just debuff endlessly. Okay, I was curious if the staff would do random silence, and it does. Yeah, look at all these debuffs. Definitely fun to play around with. Alright, and then we get you. And then kill you. And then kill you. There we go. Yeah, Suffering is honestly pretty dangerous if you let her just keep going. Alright. Alright, let's see what that puts us. Alright, let's go remove that, grab this. Alright. Passive after taking action, if consumes 2 stacks of Chaos Excerpt this turn, any buffs on the caster will not lose their turn count and can move an additional 2 blocks and attack again. Trigger cooldown. This effect can be triggered again after 2 rounds, or 2 turns rather. Attacks attack is 3 turns, cooldown, 2 range. Attacks a single enemy, dealing 1.6 times damage. For each enemy skill on cooldown, this will get increased damage. After battle, applies Box Stream Descent to the target. If the target is eliminated, it applies additionally applies Box Stream Descent to 3 random enemies. Which I'm guessing is just this thing. Okay, so yeah, it lets her apply some free debuffs or talent. The act again is probably the biggest part here, because you can potentially double tap with AoEs with this. Because all you have to do is just move in, AoE, spend at least 2 Chaos Excerpts, which is definitely in the meta. Like everything's moving 3 or more spaces. So with this, it's literally just like, all right, I have full stacks. Let's just go. Well, you can't really double tap with AoE unless you get a clock proc. That is, I guess, the one thing. Speaking of clock proc, what am I using right now? I'm using Full Moon, which is what I prefer. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting things here. You can make her kind of tanky. You can focus on AoE type stuff like this, and then follow up. Like, you can essentially do an AoE to soften up the target, and then follow it up with this, which is definitely pretty viable. Or you can just do something like Dark Reaper into Devouring Torrent, something along those lines. So I'm definitely really interested to see if we can make this character work. Even at 3 stars, like, I'm fine with taking her along just purely because you can do her talent with a staff to kind of just keep things at bay. I'm not sure what I would do as far as the Apex box is concerned. I mean, we can drop Mariandel or Agnes. Honestly, we can drop Agnes. If we have a way of preventing rush with this setup, then we have something to work with. Oh my god, this thing. Let me guess. Yep, she's down here. Alright. Let's hero sync, please. Thank you. And then for you, not sure if I have a place for you yet. I mean, like I said, I'm focusing mostly on magic. But with her, with this sword here, I'm thinking about giving this sword also to Silvaria and seeing how that goes. But I think I'll stick with this for right now, and then maybe if I'm having issues with magic damage, switching, maybe mixing it up with a little bit more physical might be an option. But yeah, I do like the fact that we have at least an alternative to the Awakened one. Obviously, there's still the issue with Rose and Seal, crystal stacking to stop it. But it's still not too shabby. I accidentally clicked off this. I apologize. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. And if anything, it's a new character, which means people may try to ban it just because she's new. Alright, with that, I want to go ahead and call it here. I am the Depressed Viewer. This was Langrisser Mobile Apex, or not Apex, Langrisser Mobile Summoning and Awakening, and I'll see you guys next time.